Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, whatever time of day this video finds you. It's your boy Jay here, and today we're talking about something that I'm seeing online now that we're in between games and we don't know what the next game is at all. We don't even have a hint, right? So I'm seeing kind of two camps pop up. We're gonna get Monster Hunter World 2. We're looking forward to Monster Hunter 6, right? Now, Capcom could have squashed this, right, at TGS had they just announced the name of the next game so that we could all call it that. But for now, the community has to use a placeholder name, right? And a lot of people are gravitating toward Monster Hunter World 2 and or Monster Hunter 6, right? Now, one of these titles makes more sense to the other than me, right? If you've been subscribed to me for a while, you know that whenever I talk about the next Monster Hunter game, I use, personally, Monster Hunter 6, right? And that's the placeholder title that makes sense to me the most, right? I know the next game is not going to be called Monster Hunter 6, right? They said that they're done with numbers and they're going to be using, subtitles to describe the next game, right? Like back in the gap, we used to have Monster Hunter 3, Monster Hunter 4, Monster Hunter 2, Monster Hunter, there used to be numbers, but they decided to get rid of the numbers, to help with, people getting into the series, right? The age-old question when a game comes out and there's a 2 in the title, the question for new people picking up the game is, hey, do I have to play the first one in order to play the second one? You don't have that problem when you have subtitles, right? Boom. Great, right? So, they're not going to be calling it Monster Hunter 6. Now, some people are saying, yo, we want Monster Hunter World 2. And some people are saying that to mean they want a game more similar to Monster Hunter World than what we got with Rise, right? Which, okay, that's cool. I see what you're trying to get at, right? Like, you want a game to maybe get slower, you maybe want the slower, more thoughtful combat, and you want the graphics and the map design of Monster Hunter World again. So you're saying we want Monster Hunter World 2, right? You don't actually, want the game to say Monster Hunter World 2 is coming, right? I get that. That's cool. There are others who simply just have not been playing the games long enough to understand how the Monster Hunter naming convention works, right? Like maybe World was your first game and you kind of just got into the series, right? So if all of your experience with Monster Hunter is Monster Hunter World and Monster Hunter Rise, then you're like, okay, I like World more than I like Rise. Let's go back to it. Let me get a Monster Hunter World 2, right? And kinda you don't know any better, which is fine. You know what I mean? That's cool too. Welcome to the franchise. I hope you have a great time hunting forever and ever. Amen. You know what I mean? The more hunters, the merrier, right? So World brought in a lot of new people. So it makes sense to me that a lot of people don't kind of understand, Monster Hunter naming convention because they haven't been around to see it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, and that's not to say saying Monster Hunter World 2 is outright wrong and I'm gonna shun you for saying it, but using that as a placeholder title makes less sense to me than using Monster Hunter 6, and I'm gonna explain to you guys why later in this video. Right now, I am not a snob about it. I'm not gonna turn my nose up at you for saying it, you know what I mean? But there are some places online, there are some communities online which will kind of, oh, you said Monster Hunter World 2, bro, that's cringe, what's wrong with you, why don't you know better, you know what I mean? So, and I'm going to, go into detail about Monster Hunter naming convention in this video so that, you can kind of understand where those people are coming from as well, you know what I mean? I'm just here to bridge the gaps. So, yeah, sit down and let's talk about naming conventions. Let's go back in the day a little bit and let's dive in. Okay, so let's take a trip through Monster Hunter's history a little bit, right? So for a while now, I don't know if this is still true. I'm hearing rumors that maybe it's not as true anymore. But when it comes to Monster Hunter and the way Capcom has their teams structured, from what I hear, from what I know, I could be wrong. There's a main team and there's a portable team, right? So main team works on the main games of the series, right? And then portable team works on games that appear on, handheld consoles, hence the name portable, right? Monster Hunter has been on the PSP, it's been on the 3DS, it's been on the Switch. All of these are portable consoles in some way, right? So main team, portable team. And main team has made games for, the big consoles for the most part, right? Monster Hunter has also been on the PS2, it's been on the Wii, it's been on the Wii U, it's been on the PlayStation 4, Xbox Series. You get where I'm going at, you know what I mean? So main team, portable team, right? So because there's two teams, they kind of rotate who's releasing the next game. Main team will make a game, right, and then they'll support that game, and then portable team will make a game, and then they'll support that game, and then main team will release another game after that, right? So let's go back to Monster Hunter 4, right? Main team made this game. They made it on the 3DS, right? Which I know I just said main team focuses on consoles, but hey, it is what it is. Just hear me out for a little bit. Main team made Monster Hunter 4, okay? Then a year later, they released Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, right? Boom, the ultimate part of Monster Hunter 4. And back in the day, they used to just release 2 games. They used to release 4, and then they released the ultimate version, you know, as a separate title, and you buy the game again, and maybe you can transfer your save from 4 to 4U to play, right? So boom, main team made Monster Hunter 4, and then they released Monster Hunter 4U after that. Then portable team comes in, they make Monster Hunter Generations, and then they make Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate, right? Now, portable team made this game during the 4th generation. So, for all intents and purposes, you can call Monster Hunter Generations Portable 4th, right? And then Generations Ultimate would be Portable 4th Ultimate. Make sense? Makes sense. Cool. So that's Portable's game for that time. Then, boom, Monster Hunter World comes out, right? Now, they called it Monster Hunter World, and this is main team's game, right? They make the big numbered titles. So, for all intents and purposes, you can call Monster Hunter World Monster Hunter 5, right? Then, Iceborne comes out. That's basically Monster Hunter 5 Ultimate, right? But it's a DLC now. They don't have to make a whole brand new game anymore because, you know, times are changing. The series is modernizing. Cool, so that's Monster Hunter 5. That's Monster Hunter 5 Ultimate. Cool? Boom. Now it's time for Portable's release, right? Like I said before. So, here comes Monster Hunter Rise, released on Switch exclusively at first, right? That's Portable 5th. Makes sense? Then Sunbreak comes out. Sunbreak is Portable 5th Ultimate, right? And this is currently where we are, right? They just finished work on Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, which is also, for all intents and purposes, Monster Hunter Portable 5th Ultimate. You see what I'm getting at, right? So, logically, the next step is for main team to release the next big numbered game, right? Which is Monster Hunter 6, right? That's where that comes from. That's why I call it Monster Hunter 6, right? Now, I know, I said this earlier, I know it's not going to actually be called Monster Hunter 6 when they show it off. It's going to be Monster Hunter blank, right? But, you know, for all intents and purposes, it's going to be Monster Hunter 6, right? And then after Monster Hunter 6 comes out, there's going to be a Monster Hunter 6 Ultimate. They're going to make the Master Rank expansion. We're going to buy that DLC. We're going to play it. We're going to love it. Oh my God, sing its praises. Then after that, there's going to be another portable game that comes out. Portable team is going to come back, and they're going to make Portable 6th. And then Portable 6th is going to get a Master Rank expansion. And that's going to be Portable 6th Ultimate. You see what I'm getting at, right? So then, that being said, that's why Monster Hunter 6 as a placeholder for now, since we don't know the name of the game, makes the most sense rather than Monster Hunter World 2, right? And we know that they're not going to use numbers anymore because they said so. You know what I mean? Back when Rise was first coming out, there's an article written by Casey DeFreitas of IGN, right? And, you know, if you know anything about Casey DeFreitas, she's one of us, you know what I'm saying? She's been playing Monster Hunter for a little bit. She does all the Monster Hunter stuff over there at IGN. And she actually got to interview, I think it was Ryozo. And they were like, yeah, we're kind of done with the numbers. We're actually just going to call it what we want to focus it on, right? Like Rise is all about the wire bugs and rising up and flying all over the place. So that's why we chose Rise. And then World is about the brand new big open maps. It's like you're playing in a real world. You know what I'm saying? So they had that. And they're like, yeah, we're actually not going to be using numbers anymore. But because we don't know the name of the game right now, we got to use a placeholder, you know what I'm saying? So it's going to be Monster Hunter 6 or Monster Hunter World 2. But World 2, when you read that interview, when they say they're getting away from numbers, it makes even less sense for them to go back to numbers and say, yeah, World 2. what? Didn't you just say we're done with numbers? You know what I mean? And then you'll run into the problem with trying to get newer people into the series, where it's like, hey, okay, well, World 2 is coming out. Do I have to play World 1 to get like what's going on in World 2? Blah, 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 right? And I know like Final Fantasy exists and they use numbers, but like that's an old series, and like with the history of Final Fantasy, they thought Final Fantasy was the last game they were gonna make, but it popped off, and then they can make Final Fantasy 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's why they have many Final Fantasies, right? Like when they first made it, the title Final Fantasy made sense because they thought it was their final game of the studio, and they make fantasy games, so it's our Final Fantasy. Hey, a little bit of trivia for you there, but yeah, man. So that's why like saying Monster Hunter World 2 will be the next game kind of makes less sense than saying Monster Hunter 6 is what's coming next, right? Either way, we're both wrong. It's not going to be called Monster Hunter World 2. It's not going to be called Monster Hunter 6. But I just want to put this out there to let people know, like, hey, this is kind of why one side is saying Monster Hunter World 2 and one side is saying Monster Hunter 6. Some people want a game to be more world-like. They want Monster Hunter World 2 because they didn't like Sunbreak or Rise for whatever reason. I get it. You have valid criticism. There's a lot of things wrong with Monster Hunter Rise, Sunbreak. You know, I've spoken my piece about that game. I like it personally, but I could see why some people wouldn't, right? So they want the game to go back to a slower pace, more of a world-like pace, but they're saying they want World 2, and because we don't have any idea of what the next game is actually called, we're just saying, you know, whatever. It's got to be a placeholder name. So yeah, that's personally why I use Monster Hunter 6, is because I feel like it makes the most sense for me given the information we have, right? Once they actually tell us what the name of the game is, I'm going to stop using Monster Hunter 6 because, well, we're going to know what it is and I'm going to call it for what it is. So yeah, that's why I personally use Monster Hunter 6 and why I don't use World 2, because I feel as a placeholder it makes less sense to me. But yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about in this video today. I see, you know, people, you know, talking about, nah, it's not going to be Monster Hunter 6, it's going to be World 2. Like, guys, we both like Monster Hunter, like, chill out. Either way, we're both wrong right now because we don't know. You know what I'm saying? Capcom is cooking and none of us are in the kitchen. We don't know what we're going to be served up with, and we all love Monster Hunter and we all want the hunts to be epic, and we all want to have fun fighting dragons and making new armor sets. So let's chill out with the infighting a little bit and just, you know, be cordial. All right, so yeah, that's gonna be it for today's video. Thank you all for watching. As always, I'll respond to each and every comment that hits this video, and as always, people, happy hunting. Peace.